I'm going to ask you to culturally translate something and tell us what it means because it's
Okay.
become a flashpoint uh, phrase, slogan, whatever, that I think a lot of people either misunderstand or willfully misconstrue. When I say the term believe all women,
Nah. I'm so glad you asked that, because that, first of all, that phrase does not come from me or the Me Too movement.
okay,
I do not subscribe to the phrase believe all women. That has been ascribed to me. I've never said it. I say believe survivors. As a Black woman, I would never, in America, I would never say believe all women, ever. It's ridiculous. What we were saying in the beginning is believe survivors. The reason why we say believe survivors, and what that means is start from the premise that survivors are telling the truth. Because for years, when survivors came forward, we were not believed. And if you start with the premise that survivors are telling the truth, that means that you will investigate thoroughly, right? And you will start and you will give them the space that you give a person that you believe, right? That means that you will say, okay, if I believe you, then I'm going to take you seriously. I'm going to go through all the proper channels to make sure you get the resources that you need, that you get the investigation you need. We didn't get that. If you don't believe me, you're going to dismiss me. You're going to try to undermine my story. You're going to try to bury me, right? All of those things. That's what you do for a person you don't believe. So when people say believe survivors, it doesn't even mean diminish the other person and demonize the other person. It means take me seriously. Believe me and take me seriously. That's what survivors are looking for when they say believe me. Now, believe all women is ridiculous. As a Black woman in America, believe in all women means that I believe Emmett Till's white lady, right? I believe all these white women that try to undermine Black men. I would never, ever say believe all women. It's racist. It's so fraught with it's so problematic. So you can't find me saying that anywhere, ever, in the history of me being a public figure.
I want to say there was a study that found that 90% of sexual assault claims do in fact turn out to be true. And these are serious allegations, but it would be disgraceful to brush it off as nothing happened when something actually did happen. So imagine if you were violated in that way and no one took it seriously or did a proper investigation. However, it's that 10% that we gotta account for. And I would imagine if the guy is rich, that number is significantly higher. But even if the guy isn't rich, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Since women aren't physically strong, when they want to hurt a man, they don't use violence. Their weapon of choice is their tongue. Character degradation. They will say just about anything to ruin the man's reputation. And I'm only talking about a small percentage of women here, but they do exist. So when these things happen, these situations need to be thoroughly investigated. First and foremost, to convict the men who are committing these heinous crimes, and secondly, to exonerate the men who have been falsely accused. And that's the biggest issue with believe all women. It's not good enough for the charges to be dropped. You have to prove your innocence. Your reputation is tarnished just by the accusation. And some people will continue to believe the lies until you can actually prove that you're innocent. And that's pretty hard to do, to prove that something didn't happen. And what about the damage that happens between you being accused and you proving your innocence? Some of these court cases can take years. And during that time, people are treating you like a social pariah. Just look at these celebrities like Johnny Depp, Jonathan Majors in recent memory. These guys have lost millions of dollars in movie deals and endorsements. And they're not getting that back. The damage is already done. And on top of that, there's no repercussions for the accuser or the law firms that take on these cases. But hopefully things might be coming to a change. Jay-Z sues accuser and lawyers saying they knew claim was false. The anonymous woman withdrew her sex abuse suit last month, but the entertainer says in court papers she has since admitted her account was fabricated. She and her lawyer deny that. Jay-Z filed a lawsuit on Monday against the anonymous woman who withdrew her lawsuit against him last month, asserting that she and her lawyers knew the allegations were false but proceeded with the claim anyway. The lawsuit brought in federal court in Alabama, where the woman lives, was filed against both the accuser and her lawyers, Tony Busby and David Fortney. In the suit, Jay-Z born Sean Carter said the woman had admitted to his representatives that she had made the story up. But in a statement, Mr. Busby said the suit has no legal merit and that the woman continues to stand by her account. The woman originally sued Jay-Z last year, naming him as a defendant in one of the dozens of cases that have accused Sean Combs of sexual abuse. In this case, the plaintiff accused Mr. Carter and Mr. Combs of raping her when she was 13 at an after party following the MTV Music Awards in 2000. After an NBC News interview with the plaintiff highlighted inconsistencies in her account, the plaintiff acknowledged that she made some mistakes in presenting the allegations. And look here, when I first heard this story, I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. A 13-year-old girl gets dropped off alone at the VMA Awards, and then the limo driver she talks to goes to her and say, "Hey, Diddy likes younger girls and you're just his type." Now, for any normal 13-year-old girl, this would have been a major red flag, but I'm going to just assume that she's the type of girl who hops in white vans to get free candy. I would think the limo driver would be a little more subtle, but what do I know? And then the dad supposedly drove 5 hours to pick her up at this after party, and the dad states that he doesn't remember doing anything like that, and he probably would have remembered driving 5 hours, which is crazy, to go pick up your 13-year-old daughter from an after party. And at the time that her dad picked her up, I would assume she's still drugged at this point. So the fact that the dad didn't know alarm bells went off when he's picking his daughter up drugged at an adult after party, and for whatever reason, the dad doesn't call the cops and doesn't even remember the situation. I mean, come on now. Any reasonable dad would have called the police. And the reason that he didn't is because it probably never happened. Honestly, I don't know why anyone believed these allegations in the first place, but you know how the internet gets. One celebrity commits a heinous crime and then everyone gets out their pitchforks to start a witch hunt. Y'all listening to too much Jaguar right. So best of luck to Jay-Z in his lawsuit, because there needs to be repercussions for false allegations. This is why Believe All Women is bullshit. But again, most accusations do turn out to be true, but that is why we need to have due process. Well, all right, that's all I have for this video. Please let me know, what points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Please leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And if you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. Disagree to disagree. I'm out.